on media online, and conversion optimization, and marketing automation, which is the topic of today. And since last year, I've been running my own little consultancy and training company called bluepencil.ae. And putting aside digital marketing, I'm also the guitarist of one of the best bands in the UAE called CNR Mafia. And this is actually not my personal claim. Might come across as cocky, but we did win a bunch of awards for the best band in town. And I wanted to show you guys a little picture from one of our concerts. Well, one of probably the biggest concert that we played at. Does anyone know Bon Jovi? You guys can throw in the chat. Who knows Bon Jovi? Anyone familiar with the band? Yeah. So Bon Jovi, they came in 2014. They played at the Do Arena. Yeah, Bon Jovi is your life. Yeah, Bon Jovi are great. So they came in 2014. They played at the Do Arena, and we got to open for them. I have no idea how we got the gig, to be honest, but we got to open for them. We played in front of 25,000 people. It was by far one of the best nights of my entire life. I had this look on my face for a whole week after the gig. This is how excited I was. So yeah, definitely not as exciting as doing marketing automation, but but nearly as exciting. All right, so let's jump into what we're going to cover today. So today we're going to talk about what exactly is marketing automation. So you should walk out understanding, or having at least a better understanding of what marketing automation is. You should also have a pretty good understanding of what is the value of marketing automation. And you should learn about different tactics and tools for marketing automation. It's going to be a beefy session today. So I hope you had a good breakfast this morning. There's going to be a lot to cover. And I'll give you a chance at the end also to ask any specific questions that you might have. All right. So to start off, I just wanted to kind of give you an understanding of where exactly marketing automation fits in the bigger picture of your entire digital marketing activities, right? So taking the journey of a customer from A to Z, and where exactly marketing automation fits in that picture. So when you look at any website across any sector, really, what we're doing as marketers is we're driving prospects to our website, right? So we're building brand awareness, and we're getting people to go to our website or app. And we use a variety of channels to do that. So you can use SEO or Google Ads or display or social or content marketing, or whichever marketing activity or acquisition channel that we're using. But the idea is that we're sending traffic to the website, and we're getting them to go to the website. Right now, when we come to the website, the next step that ideally you want to be doing as a business is you want to be capturing data of these users and these prospects. So when I say capturing data, I'm talking about things like their email address, their name, their phone, probably their demographics, maybe their location, probably their product and service interest, maybe the level of engagement that they have with your website at that stage, or with your brand at that stage. And we capture this data through multiple ways. Like there's so many ways that you can capture user data. So I'll give you just examples of those ways to capture data of users. One of the most common ways is a form on a website, right? So when someone comes to your website, you would have, let's say, a contact inquiry form. Another way could be a blog subscription, right? So you have a blog and you capture data of users by them subscribing to your blog. Or maybe you do this by using a lead magnet. So a lead magnet is this idea where you offer something valuable for free in exchange for the data of users, right? So whether it's their things like name, email, phone, demographics, location, job function, whichever it is. Okay. You can also capture leads and data of users directly from paid media campaigns. For example, you have lead ads on channels like LinkedIn and Facebook. So there are multiple ways where you can capture data of users. Now, the sole reason or the main kind of purpose of capturing user data is to be able to communicate with them more meaningfully, right? So what do I say? What do I mean exactly by communicating more meaningfully? You're basically you want to move from anonymous users to users that you know a lot about them, and you can send them the right message at the right time to the right person, right? So I'll give you a simple examples. If I have data on my prospects that they are located in Sharjah, let's say, or a specific city in a country, then I can communicate with them the offerings that I have only in this location, right? Or if I know that if I have data on specific segment of my users that they are interested in product X, then in my communication moving forward after that point can be focused on communicating product X because they have shown interest in that. Or if I know that a specific segment of my users are females, so I have demographic data, I'm using demographic data, then I can communicate with them the offerings of females, right? And so the whole idea of data capture at this point here is communicate more meaningfully. And when you do that, when you're able to send more relevant messaging, you're having a higher chance of converting a large or a bigger percentage of these prospects into customers, right? So at this stage, we have driven prospects to our website, we've captured their data, and using this data, we started communicating meaningfully with them until we convert a percentage of them, or the highest percentage possible of them into customers. Now, does our job stop at this stage once we convert a prospect into a customer? Of course, it doesn't. We want to turn those customers into loyal customers, right? So we don't want people to just buy once from us. We want them to buy twice and 3 times and 4 times and 5 times. We want them to recommend our product or service to their friends and family. We want to get reviews and testimonials from them. So there's a lot more work that still happens after acquiring a customer, right? It doesn't, our job as marketers doesn't stop at just acquiring a customer. And so again, we do the same thing. We start acquiring or capturing more data on these customers. So we start acquiring data like the purchase history. How many times have they bought from me? What products have they bought from me? I started having a better understanding of the lifetime value of these customers. And again, using this data, and I'm going to again communicate meaningfully after them becoming a customer, I will start communicating meaningfully. So I'll give you an example of meaningful communication here at this stage. Let's say I know that a specific customer bought product X. Then from that point on, I can start communicating or cross-selling other products that complement this specific product, right? So I can start communicating another product that complements product X that they already bought. Okay, so that's just an example of meaningful communication to a customer. And again, through this meaningful communication, I'm able to convert those customers to loyal customers, right? So this is the ideal kind of framework that you should be following as a marketer for any businesses that you want to get prospects, you want to turn them into customers, then you want to turn them into loyal customers. And this obviously applies in any environment, whether it's B2B or B2C, right? So in really any business in any sector, essentially that's what you're trying to do, your job as a marketer. So where exactly does marketing automation fit in all of this? Well, it fits in every part that is red here, right? So anything that's red in this picture, a large portion of it is really driven by marketing automation. Okay, so marketing automation has a lot to do with how to capture data and what data to capture, how to communicate meaningfully with prospects so they can become customers, how can you acquire more data about customers, and how can you communicate with them more meaningfully. so you can convert them from customers into loyal customers. Okay, so now we see where marketing automation fits in the bigger picture. Now the question is, how can you, like, where do you start? Like, how can you actually get to the point where you can implement these red pieces in this picture? Okay, so a good starting point is having a better understanding of your customer journey. Okay, and this exercise of understanding your customer journey is something that can be as basic or as complex as you want it to be. But what I'm going to show you here, if you're able to cover these boxes or these points that I'm going to discuss now, then you should be in a good position, and you should be able to have a relatively good understanding of your customer journey. So let's break this down real quick, because this is typically a good starting point for any marketing automation activity. Starting from the customer journey is a good starting point. All right, so if we take the first row, you have the good old stages of a user lifecycle. We've seen these a million times: awareness, consideration, decision, delivery and use, and loyalty and advocacy. So let's assume that this is the case of a grocery shop, right? This is a grocery store. It's a business that has a grocery store, and this is an example of the customer journey for a grocery store. Okay, so we have the life cycle stages at the very top, and then on the left side you have these dimensions or sort of questions that you want to be answering for every single stage. Okay, so what are these questions? Okay, so for every stage, whether it's awareness or consideration or decision or delivery and use or loyalty and advocacy, I want to know what are the customer activities that happen in each and every one of those stages. So I'll give you examples of that. Let's say the customer activities in the awareness stage is they hear from friends about our grocery store, or they see an offline or online ad about our grocery store, or they read a newspaper about our grocery store. Okay, the second question we want to answer is, what exactly are their goals at every stage? So in the case of awareness, let's say, their goals, probably no goals at this point, right? So they literally just knew about us. They probably don't have goals at this point. Maybe in the decision phase, they want to find and select products easily. They want to get inspired, etc. And then you apply this for every stage. Okay. The second question you want to answer is, what are the touch points that the customer is having with me as a brand for every stage? So you can have, for example, in the case of the awareness stage, the touch points could be something like word of mouth or traditional media or social media. In the decision phase, it could be the website or the app or the order confirmation email. In the delivery and use, it could be phone, email, or chat, etc. So basically, you're trying to identify the touch points between the customer and the brand for every stage. Okay, what else do we want to answer? We want to have a better understanding of the experience that the customer or the user is feeling, right? The experience that they're having at every stage. So again, let's say in the consideration stage, they require some effort, but they are excited about the brand, let's say. The decision phase, they're excited. They might be having later some payment issues, so they're having a painful experience with payment, let's say. And the same for every stage. Another question you want to be answering is, on the business side, what exactly are the business goals for every stage? So in the awareness stage, our goal as business for any user that is in the awareness stage is that we want to increase awareness and interest. Consideration, we probably want to increase the number of website visitors. In the decision, we want to probably increase the shopping cart value and maybe the conversion rate of the website. And then you apply that for the other stages. You also want to have a KPI for every stage in a way, right? So in the awareness, probably your KPI is your digital marketing KPI is that you want to increase the number of people that you reach with your content or your ads. Maybe in the consideration phase, you want to increase the number of new website visitors. In the decision, you probably want to increase the cart value and conversion rate, etc. And then finally, you identify what exactly are the activities that you as a brand are going to do for every stage. And then finally, what exactly are the people responsible, or the teams in your company that are responsible for every stage. Okay, so if you get to a point where you're able to fill each and every one of these boxes across all the stages, you are in a pretty good position to start your marketing automation, or to actually build your marketing automation. Okay, so the question now, there are two questions that come to mind now. Why are we doing the customer journey to begin with? And how is this related to marketing automation? And how exactly can we fill all these boxes? All right, so I've shown you now an example of a grocery store customer journey. Now, if you wanted to start and do this for your own business, how exactly are you going to fill all these boxes? Are you going to sit with your colleagues and come up with these as assumptions in your head? Or are there more concrete ways of building out this customer journey? So let me first answer the first question of why is this even important, and how is this related to marketing automation? Well, the reason why it's important is because remember when I told you marketing automation, a big part of it is data capture and having meaningful communication with your users, right? So let's focus on the second bit, having meaningful communication. Well, if I know, for example, that in the decision phase, users typically their goals are to get inspired, then in my communication with someone that has reached this stage should highlight or should one of the main areas in communication should be to inspire those customers, right? So if I the insights that I get from the customer journey in a way dictates how my communication is going to be, or guides my communication, right? So for my communication to be more meaningful, I have to understand what are the goals, the pain points, the motivations of users across every stage, right? Because I want my communication to be meaningful at every stage. So that's why customer journey is important for marketing automation. Okay, so the second question of how exactly then can we build this out? Like I told you, you're not going to sit with your colleagues and come up with this journey off the top of your head. You definitely want to have a more concrete, solid framework for identifying or kind of mapping out your customer journey. So one of the starting points to build out your customer journey is you simply ask your customers, right? So any customers that have bought from you, or a portion of them, you can start asking them questions that would give you insights for every stage of your journey. For example, what's the hardest part about ordering on our website, for example? Or can you tell me about your experience getting the delivery of our products? Or how does our content make you feel? Right? So you can basically start asking these questions, and there's a whole list of questions you can ask your customers to gain some feedback and insights. And based on this feedback, as a starting point, you can start jotting down basically filling out these boxes in your customer journey, and mapping out the goals of these customers, the activities they're going through, the pain points, their motivations and drivers, etc. Okay, so the very first point, the very first place where you can build out your customer journey is just simply ask your customers. Okay, what else can you do? We all have this beautiful free tool called Google Analytics, which we can gain a lot of insights from to help us build out our customer journey. So for example, there is one report called Top Conversion Paths. And Top Conversion Paths shows us the touch points or the channels that our users have come through before converting. So from this, for example, from this report, I can see that 20% of my conversions on the website have come through this path, where users first came to our website through social, and then they came direct, and then they bought. The second path is they came through social, and then they came through direct twice, and then they bought. Another one is, the fifth one, they came through organic search, and then direct, and then they bought, right? So the top conversion paths will give you a sense of what exactly are the touch points that your users go through before purchasing or before converting on your website. Okay, so that already should give you insights to fill up or map out your customer journey. Okay, what other reports can we do? And these are all data-driven ways of mapping out your customer journey. You can also look at a report called Behavior Flow, also in Google Analytics. And Behavior Flow shows you the paths that your customers have taken on your website. And so I can see which pages or which path or series of pages do customers go through before converting. Again, it gives you a lot of insight on the journey of your customers on your website, right? So the previous report gives you insights on their journey outside of your website. This one gives you insights on their journey on your website. So how can this help your marketing automation? For example, you can, if you know the path, the most common path on your website that users take to convert, then you can start sending messages through a tool like live chat, for example. You can have specific messages going through live chat on those specific pages that are basically the most common path of conversion. For example, just a simple example. Okay, what else can we do to gain insights to build our customer journey? You can look at the time lag report in Google Analytics. So the time lag report, what it does is basically it tells you how much time, or what's the window, what's the time duration it took for someone from the first visit all the way to conversion. So you can see, for example, that it takes a portion of your audience 2 weeks to convert from the first visit, let's say. Okay, and then you can get a sense of what is the window from first visit to conversion. Right? And you will see how this will help you later on when you're setting up your marketing automation, basically. All right, so at this stage, up to this point, we should know what touch points our customers go through. We should know what conversion paths they take on our website and how long it takes our customers to convert. And also, what are their pain points? What are their drivers at each stage of the conversion funnel? Okay, and we by this stage now, we should be able to have a good idea on what our customer journey looks like, right? So we've gotten feedback and we've looked at data-driven ways of looked at data and gained insights into our customer journey. All right, what else can we do before we actually go ahead and start our automation? Well, another thing that we want to understand is when users come to our website, when, let's say you're running campaigns and you have thousands of people coming to your website, and out of those thousands, you have hundreds of leads, right? So you have, let's say last month you generated 1,000 leads. Do you think all of those 1,000 leads, they all have the same level of affinity to your brand, and they all have the same level of readiness to buy from you, and they all have the same level of engagement with your brand? Most certainly not, right? In any scenario, in any case, in any business, in any sector, there will always be prospects that are more valuable than other prospects, simply because some have more interaction with our brand, some are more ready to buy from us than others. Okay, there's no way all prospects sit on the same level of brand affinity and readiness to buy. Okay, so scoring leads or scoring users on our website is a great way for us as a business to understand which prospects and which leads are more important than others. Okay, which prospects or leads are more valuable right now than others. And this is something that marketing automation as an activity provides us as a business, right? So we are able automatically to score the leads that come to our website or the users that come to our website based on specific criteria that we define as a business. So I'll give you an example a structure for scoring. Okay, so this is a basic leads scoring structure, and there are two ways of scoring leads. Typically, across marketing automation tools, you will be looking at fixed scoring versus cumulative scoring. So what do I mean by that? Let's take the fixed scoring first. I'm going to set this up in my marketing automation tool. I'm going to tell the system that if a user contacts me through the contact inquiry on our website, so if someone contacts our business through the contact inquiry form, the system is going to give them 25 points. Okay. If someone subscribes in our blog, they are going to get 10 points. If someone books a call with us, so let's say there's a way for users to book a call with our business, the system is going to give them 50 points. If someone buys a product, they're going to get 100 points. Now with this here, with this fixed scoring, the system is going to give this scoring only once. Okay, so if that same user contacts me twice, they're only going to get 25 points. Okay, but the whole idea here is that the system is essentially adding this scoring to users based on the actions that they take on the website. Okay. All right. Now let's look at cumulative scoring. So cumulative scoring, the idea here is that the scoring can happen more than once. It can happen multiple times. So for example, if every time someone opens my email, that person is going to get 1 point. And every time a contact clicks through a link inside one of my emails, they're going to get 2 points. Every time someone visits my website page, any of my pages on the website, they're going to get 3 points. Every time they visit a product page, they're going to get 5 points. Every time they forward an email that I send, they're going to get 2 points. And every time they share on social media one of my emails, they're going to get 2 points. So as you can see, fixed scoring happens only once. Cumulative scoring happens multiple times. And you can see that there's this expiry for every scoring that I set up. And the reason why there is expiry is because the whole idea of scoring leads or scoring prospects is to know or to identify the leads or the prospects that are important right now. Okay, so if for example someone engaged with my emails 6 months ago and then didn't take any action after that, do you think they are still warm right now? Probably not, right? So the whole idea of scoring is that you want to have expiry for every scoring, because then it makes the scoring more relevant. So if someone contacts me and then doesn't buy, after 60 days, this scoring is going to expire. So they're going to lose those 25 points. The same thing with cumulative. Right? If someone visits my page, website, any page, and then they don't buy for 30 days, they're going to lose those 3 points. So when you set up this, you set it up once, and then the system, the marketing automation tool, starts assigning this scoring to users automatically in the background. And this is why it's called marketing automation, because a lot of it is automated. Actually, the entire thing is automated. And so what happens is, as you look at your contacts in your database, you start seeing this scoring automatically being updated by the system based on the actions that every contact takes, whether it's engagement with your emails, whether it's visits to your website, or actions they take on the website. And you can define the scoring based on any criteria that you want, right? So you can, for example, give scoring to anyone that visit specific pages, or like the examples that I've given you, or really anything that you have in your operation, anything, right? If a user, let's say, try to think of examples outside of the structure that I've given here, literally anything that the user takes. Let's say you have a lead magnet, a specific lead magnet, a white paper that users can download on your website. You can assign a specific scoring for that. Every time someone takes the action, they get a score, right? So with this scoring in place, you have a very good understanding of which prospects and which leads are valuable right now, right? Which leads you need to jump on, which prospects you need to jump on, which ones you need to give offerings, special discounts, all of that stuff, right? So that's a great way the marketing automation, it's a great thing the marketing automation provides you as a business. Now, what else can we do? You also want to be able to tag your users, okay? Tag users in your database. And tagging is one of the methods to segment your contacts or your prospects or your users on the website. And tagging is, segmentation is by far one of the most important things in marketing. One of the most important aspects of marketing automation is to be able to segment your users, right? Because remember, segmentation, the more segmentation you have, or the more solid segmentation you have, the more relevant your communication is going to be, right? Because remember, when we, going back to the initial slide that we started out with, the big picture, the whole idea of marketing automation is you want to use data to communicate meaningfully, right? So the more you segment, the more relevant your messaging is going to be. So for example, I want to be able to identify and tag loyal customers. I want to be able to tag people that are interested in product A. I want to be able to tag engaged prospects. I want to be able to tag customers, right? And again, similar to scoring, this is something that happens in the background and it's all automated. So I'll give you an example of a tagging structure. So let's say I want to tag my users based on the lead entry point and whether they're customers and what products they bought. So for example, in the category of lead entry points, every time someone contacts me through a form, when a user contacts our business through a website form, they're going to get this tag called entry-contact form. And every time someone subscribes to our blog, they are going to get a tag called entry-blog. Every time someone comes, we acquire their data through Facebook, they are going to automatically get a tag called entry-Facebook. Same with LinkedIn, etc. And every time someone buys product 1, they're going to get a tag called customer-product 1, etc. Okay, so basically what you end up with is similar to scoring. The system is automatically adding these tags to every contact based on the criteria that you specify. Okay, and when you get to this point, you have a pretty good understanding of, first of all, who are your most valuable prospects, but also the segmentation and how you can use this segmentation later on to communicate meaningfully with every segment. Okay, all right, so up to this point, we are now ready to build an automation. This is where the exciting stuff starts happening with automation, because up to this point, we were gathering data and insights and understanding our customer journey and setting up the scoring of our prospects and setting up the tagging structure of our prospects. Now we're going to build an actual automation. This is where the meaningful communication is going to come into play now. Yeah. So let's look at an example. This is an example of a business that is selling online courses. Okay, so let's say this is a business selling online courses, and this is the automation that they're going to run. Okay, so first of all, we have to define who enters this automation. Which users enter this automation? So anyone that contacts our website through the form, they're going to enter this automation. Anyone that subscribes to our blog is going to enter this automation. And anyone that we acquire the data through a lead magnet, let's say a white paper download or whatever it is, they're also going to enter this automation. Okay, cool. So now we've identified the triggers or the entry points for the automation. Now what's going to happen? The system is going to wait one day. Okay, I'll get back to this question of the expiry date once I'm done with this. Yeah. All right. Okay, so the system is going to wait 1 day, and then it's going to send an email with a free trial. let's say a free course, let's say, or free trial of our course. Okay, and then the system is going to wait. Oh, it's going to wait 2 days, and then send out another email with testimonials of our course. And then the system is going to wait another 2 days, and it's going to send out an email where the user can, or the prospect can, book a call with our sales rep. Okay. And then the system is going to wait another 2 days and send out an email with a case study of, let's say, a previous student that bought the course and was able to, I don't know, get an amazing job. And then it's going to wait for 2 days and send out another email with a free tool. Okay, so it's an email that offers a free tool relevant to the subject of this course, let's say. And then the system is going to wait for 2 days and is going to look at the score of this contact. Okay, if the score of the contact is above 80, it's going to ask this question: does the score of the contact is above 80 at this point or not? Is it above 80 or not? And the reason why, for example, we specify 80 here, because we know that based on the scoring structure that we have in place, if someone reaches above 80 in terms of scoring, we know that this person has engaged with us more than 6 times, for example, and has contacted us through a contact form and did this and that. Okay. I will get back to the questions. I'm seeing the questions. Keep them coming. I'll get back to that. All right. So now the system is going to ask, has the score went above 80 or not? And if it is above 80, then it's going to send an email with a 10% discount. And the reason why we have this set up here is because we know that if someone has scored above 80, that they have really interacted and engaged with us so many times to the point where it seems like they're very close to buying, right? So this 10% discount email is like the last push to really get them to make that purchase. Okay. If they haven't reached above 80 up to this point, if their scoring is not above 80, then they're going to exit this automation. And then we're going to make them enter another automation that we have created on the side called Dropouts Automation. So this Dropouts Automation is specifically created for people that have gone through this entire automation and still haven't bought. Okay. And then after the contacts receive this 10% discount email, after 2 days, if they still haven't bought, then also they will exit this automation and enter another automation called Dropouts. And throughout this entire automation, if the contact or the user buys the product at any point, whether it's after the first email, second, third, fourth, at any point, if they buy the product, they will automatically exit this automation and they will enter a third automation called customer loyalty, right? And the idea of this customer loyalty automation is to, after they bought, remember, I told you acquiring the customer is not the last step. After acquiring, we have to try and get them to buy more and try to get them to recommend their friends and get reviews and testimonials from them, right? So that's why they enter the customer loyalty automation. Now, so this is just a simple example of having an automation that is running in the background, and you set it up once and it just keeps running. And every time someone does any of these actions of contacting us or subscribing to the blog or downloading our white paper, they automatically get added into this automation, and the system in the background is scoring them based on their activities and tagging them based on their activities. And they're being moved. Basically, these automations are basically taking them throughout their journey to convert them from a prospect to a customer, and then from a customer to a loyal customer. Okay. Now, does this has to be only the communication? Does it have to be only through email? Definitely not. A lot of the marketing automation tools will also offer you things like live chat. So you can communicate with your users on email, but also on live chat on the website. Some of them will give you SMS communication. In some countries, you can actually send SMSs. So you can literally have inside your automation an option to SMS the user automatically, right? So let's say instead of the case study email, it sends an SMS or sends a live chat message. Or you could even connect your automation with your paid media channels through custom audiences. So let's say Facebook remarketing or LinkedIn remarketing or Twitter remarketing or any of the paid media channels that work with custom audiences, you can actually integrate them in your automation, right? So it's such a powerful way to have meaningful communication that is entirely automated in the background. Now, what happens after this is that you can then start looking at the performance of these automations. So this is, for example, a report from an automation that I created for one of my clients. And you can see the performance of things like open rate and click rate. These are phenomenal rates when it comes to open rate and click rate. Very, very good open rates and click rates. And the reason why they're very good is because the automation is set up in a way that it sends messages that are very relevant for every user, right? We're not doing mass communication to all of our users. We are really narrowing down our messaging entirely based on the actions that our users take. And this is why with marketing automation, you tend to have much better performance than traditional forms of communication, like regular email campaigns, for example. And you will also see that when you incorporate other channels like paid media, for example, and or live chat, you will also see that the level of engagement that you have from marketing automation tends to be much higher than traditional forms of digital marketing, let's say. And you can also see the revenue generated from your automation. And you can even drill down to every single email that is sent out in your automation, the performance for every single email. So you can see the open rates and click rates for every email and the revenue generated from every single email, right? So and this helps you identifying also the weak spots inside your entire automation, because obviously it's not only about just creating and launching the automation, it's about optimizing it and tweaking it so you can really squeeze the most juice out of it, basically, right? All right, so this is all can be done using so many tools. There are so many tools in marketing automation that can help you kind of set up everything that we discussed today. So HubSpot, for example, is obviously very popular in that. Autopilot, ActiveCampaign, GetResponse, and so many more. There are so many marketing automation tools. Over the last few years, marketing automation as a discipline has been really growing, and technology has been getting more and more sophisticated. I personally really enjoy ActiveCampaign. I use it with all of my clients. But again, there are so many really good tools. I mean, all of these tools are all great. And it really just depends on your budgets and what exactly you're looking for and your requirements from the whole exercise. So going back to the question of today's session is why marketing automation might be your most valuable asset? Well, because it gives you much better lead management or prospect management. It gives you a very solid way of nurturing your prospects. And again, this applies whether it's B2B or B2C. You have much better understanding of where everyone is in regards to their affinity to your brand and their readiness to buy. And so you're in a much better position to nurture them in better ways. It also saves you a lot of time, because if you try to do everything that we spoke about today manually, it's insane. You will spend literally 24 hours a day trying to do this manually, and you will never get the same results. It also unites your sales and marketing teams, because with this setup, you're able to have your marketing teams and your sales teams working together and both having the same view of the customer journey. And that works specifically for B2B companies. And obviously with this setup, you're able to have more meaningful and relevant communication, because you are every single piece of communication is triggered by actions that the users take. And of course, you're able to scale this up. The level of scalability in marketing automation is you can apply this to whether you have hundreds of users or you have thousands or even millions, right? as long as you have the right setup in place, you can really scale this up because automation is at the core of it, right? So there's no cap, there's no ceiling when it comes to scalability. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today. So let me go through the questions. So we had a couple of questions. What is the idea of expiry dates? Okay. So let me go back to the slide of expiry dates. When we're scoring, right? So remember, the idea of scoring is the whole purpose of scoring is that we're trying to identify prospects or users that are more valuable right now. Okay. So I'll give you an example. If we had this scoring system set up since a year ago, and let's say 10 months ago, there was one specific user that was engaging with our emails, visiting our pages, let's say for a duration of a month, and then they stopped and they didn't interact with us anymore for 9 months. Do you think this user should maintain the scoring? Do you think the scoring that they had, the activity that they had 10 months ago, is it still relevant now? Most likely not, right? Because they've probably forgotten about most of the things that they were engaging with back then, right? So that's why for your scoring to be relevant, you need to have expiry on this scoring. If your scoring remains as it is, and someone 10 months ago was engaging with you, and then someone last week started engaging with you and reached the same score, you will look at both leads as both having the same score. But in reality, the guy that was engaging with you 10 months ago is much less valuable than the person that is engaging with you last week, right? Because your brand is fresh in their mind, right? So that's the whole idea of expiry. All right, would sending many emails in a short time be considered as spam? Not necessarily, because so here's the thing. For you to avoid spam filters, when you send a lot of emails to a lot of people at once, this is a spam flagging action, right? So this is where spam filters go like, okay, what is happening here? You're sending way too many emails to a lot of people. But what you're doing here with this automation is that you're almost having a one-to-one communication, right? Every user is going to enter the automation at different times. They're not all going to enter the automation at exactly the same second. I can enter automation today. Someone else can enter automation tomorrow or a week later or 2 weeks later. So this sequence of emails is not all being sent at once to everyone, right? It's literally one-to-one communication. So here's the other thing is that it's all relevant as long as you know, first of all, who you're sending this to, and you can tweak your automation over time to make sure that the emails that you're sending or whatever communication that is going out is actually relevant. And the thing that's going to tell you whether your communication is relevant throughout the entire automation is the data, right? So if you see that your open rates are good, your click-through rates are good throughout your entire automation, then you know that you're not spamming, right? If you saw that your open rates are 5% or 2%, your click rates are 0.5%, then you know that there's something wrong and people are actually not finding your communication relevant. So to answer that question, data can also help you answer that question, right? And that's the beauty of marketing automation tools. It gives you all this data. You can actually see the performance of every, like over here, you can see the performance of the entire automation. You can see the performance of every single email that you're sending out. All right, so I guess I'll leave 3, 4, 5 minutes maybe for questions. And
all right. Thank you, Tariq. That was very insightful, and it was good to see a couple of you asking questions, because these meetups are all about you understanding and you getting it. And the more questions you ask, the better it is for the instructor to explain, and then I guess it serves everybody right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put up a quick link for you to, it's a very short survey, not going to take a really long time. And it's just how did you like the course? And then if there are other courses that you'd be interested, or if you're interested in knowing more about different things that we do at Asset Labs, you can just fill it up over there, and then someone from the team will get in touch with you. So I'm just gonna put it right now in the chats, and perfect. That's pretty much it. Thank you, Tariq, for your time.
Awesome.
And
No worries.
I hope everybody had a good learning intake from the session, and we hope to see you in the next meetups, everybody. Oh, there's another question that just came in.
Okay, what made you choose ActiveCampaign over other tools? So ActiveCampaign was one of the first tools that I investigated, and when I started using it, I was amazed by the features that they have, and also the price point. They have amazing features. You can pretty much, the flexibility that you have with them is amazing. HubSpot, for example, was a little more expensive. So yeah, I would say the features and the price would be the main reasons why I chose ActiveCampaign.
Perfect. Cool it is. All right, everybody, thank you so much, and have a wonderful afternoon and evening ahead.
Cool.
Thanks, Tariq.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye. Good luck.
Bye-bye.